Cyprus football, the passion, the thrill. The passion, the thrill. The stadiums roar, you can feel the chill. You can feel the chill. The teams are ready, the battles will start. With battles will start. With dreams of glory, they'll play with heart.
Kalimera, Kalispera, wherever time you're watching, this is Mappa. I'm Stel. Thasso is here. We got some good news and some bad news. Thasso, how are you doing, my guy?
I am doing fine. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Yeah, good.
Good.
Yes, that's the nicest way I could put it.
Good.
I guess you're pretty pleased with your team's results thus far.
Listen. Results against Paralimni and Karmiotissa aren't going to be the be-all and end-all of the season, but it's good. Good for the confidence, isn't it?
I'm never bloody happy, man.
There's some
Never bloody
nice
happy.
wins. No, I know. I am happy. I am happy. I'm happy. I got nothing to complain about.
Okay.
At least with my team, I got nothing to complain about.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One of those.
One of those.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, before we start, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in. I don't know, it says here we've got 11 people watching live. So yes, thank you for taking your time to watch us when you could be watching Champions League. Don't forget we're on Instagram and X at This Is Mappa. Thasso's Insta and all that is there. Mine is there, and that's all you need to know. So a few games occurred this weekend and a couple this evening.
Yes.
Shall we go right into it?
We can go right into it. Yes, please.
All right. So your team, Upperwell, gave Karmiotissa a absolute hiding. 2 for El Arabi, 1 for Sarfo, 3-0 victory. Pretty straightforward if you ask me, mate. And then tonight, you faced Paralimni and you beat them up. I mean, it was bullying. Absolute bullying. 2 for your mate Chebak, 1 for Kitia, and 1 for Donis. And it looks like the Upperwell of last season based on those games. That's all more.
It does, doesn't it? It really does. A lot of good, fast-paced team goals coming from it as well, which is good as well. El Arabi hit the post against Paralimni as well, so it could have been like 5-0. It could have been, the team over the last few days. It seems the international break has done them some good, and hopefully that continues. I really hope it does. The first half against Karmiotissa was a bit shaky. They finished 0-0 in the first half. I thought, oh God, here we go again. In all credit to the team, 3 goals in the second half, finished the game off. After the second goal as well, when the second goal went in, it looked like somebody had punched Sofroni like in the stomach. He was bent over the dugout like this, like this, just going like.
Oh, do you know? Don't give me that. Don't give me that. That was his pretending I give a shit act.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm going to get the Cyprus job. That's what it is. It's like,
well,
pretend that you're sad that you're losing, but you like kind of look over there. I'm getting the Cyprus job, motherfucker. Cyprus job. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, pretty much. And then the 4-0 absolute drumming of Paralimni. I think they had one shot. I think from like 30, 35 yards out. Didn't go anywhere near the goal either. So. Yep, completely dominant in that game as well. There was time. There was time right at the end of the game for a Paralimni player to get a second bookable offence. Like
smashed him.
He tackled it. He got up and just took the captain's armband off. he knew already. He went, yeah. All right. See you guys. Bye. See you later.
I would have loved to see the heat map for that game because I only watched the first half. And it was you just camped outside.
Yeah.
The goal. There's just a camp there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well,
one way.
I looked at the Paralimni team sheet and I didn't see Alicia Sam anywhere. He seems to be the the man on fire, at least for me. Every time I post something about him on Twitter, I seem to get it just blows up. I had posted a video of his goal that he scored the weekend, and it got 23,000 views and 100 likes.
Amazing.
What?
Amazing.
But I think people are kind of just searching for Alicia Sam or whatever.
But for our viewers, you can do Thasso a favor, right? You can do something called Alicia Sam Watch, right? So anyone that is in the Paralimni region and sees him, just take a photograph and send it to Thasso, and he'll post it
Yeah.
on social media. Day
Yeah,
one, Alicia Sam,
exactly.
Mega. Day two, he goes to wherever he needs to go.
Yeah.
Come on, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah, it goes to the
The
aquarium
Stalker's
one day,
Diary.
you know.
Oh my God. Private investigator Thasso. Flipping out. Right,
yeah.
shall we move on?
Just one more thing before we
One more thing.
move off from Abuel. Midweek games are going to come thick and fast, aren't they? So, yeah, bring them on. Bring them on. This is where we're going to find out
in time for the Conference League.
This is where we're going to find out the men from the boys, aren't we? So, if they keep up the form, especially next weekend against Salamina, if they trounce them 3 or 4-0, we know we're back in business. So let's go.
If Salamina play the same way they did tonight,
well, that'll be next, won't it?
That will be next. Exactly. Spot on. And the next game, or the next couple of games, is Buffer beating Anorthosi by 3 goals to 1. Jairo, Anderson, and Sunic scoring the goals for Buffer. Rafa Lopez pulling one back. He seems to be the consolation goal king at the moment, doesn't he? That's all he seems to be doing, consolation goals. But hey, it's all right. He gets his goal bonus, I guess. Then they played Salamina tonight in what was supposed to be their opening game of the season. And they battered them 4-0. Dragomir, Jairo, Pepe, and Anderson. Anderson. And he's banging in goals left, right, and centre now. It's scary when you look at that front line, Thasso, with Jaja on fire.
Yep.
What a strike that was, by the way, from Pepe.
Bafo are going to be very, very dangerous. Again, we haven't seen them having to play top 6 teams yet. So I'm still reserving my my plaudits until they get there, but they do look very impressive, especially going forwards. Against Anorthosi, they could have had a 4th goal, but Tankovic was so far offside he wasn't even on the pitch anymore. But yeah, was it Beavis? Was it Cornholio who gave the ball away for that build up?
Listen, I'm not going to say anything, okay? Because there was another clip that we had on social media, and that was it was tragic.
Oh, yeah.
Shall I find it and bring it up on the screen? Because okay, hold on.
I think it was the offside goal that you're talking about.
It was the offside goal. Yeah, I've got it.
But
guys.
it was incredible, the defensive frailties that Anorthosi was showing. They were trying to play it out from the back, and you can't really do that against Bafo with the speed and power that they've got.
No, I mean you can play it out back, but look at this for a pass.
Yeah, what was that? What was
That's got FIFA glitch all over it, mate.
Yeah.
Crying out loud.
Unbelievable.
Crying out loud.
Yeah.
What can you say, man? Like, what can you say? I'm not gonna look. I didn't want to do this, but Anorthosi have got Omoni at the weekend, and we know this Anorthosi back line is going to turn into prime AC Milan. You're going to see Baresi there. You're going to see Costa Curta. You're going to see Maldini. Honestly, you just know it's going to happen. You just know.
Yeah.
Fucking Rafa Lopez is going to turn into, I don't know, Van Basten. Like, Artimada is going to turn into Boban. Like,
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that a lot. But
leave it.
There's
Oh,
I don't
blimey.
know,
Some
man. I think yeah,
Michael Johnny says Salamina disappointing.
I agree.
Andrea says we saw Buffalo against Ike.
We're
Yeah,
talking about
true.
top 6 teams, man. Ike this season.
Well, to be fair, that was Berg's first home game, and they were a big improvement. But we're going to go into that in a bit.
Yep.
Anorthosis are giving me traumas this season. George, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Great quality. Yeah, Andrea, let's not be
Buffalo.
mean. Let's not be mean. I think.
Buffalo. Yeah.
Hmm.
Go on.
No, I think he's being sarcastic about
Oh,
Anorthosis
no,
defending.
yeah.
Or Oniro will spank us. I don't know. You're going to turn to prime fucking Milan. I'm telling you. 4-0 Oniro.
Oh man, some people really putting the boat out.
Yeah. Yeah.
For against Anorthosis, yeah. Look, I don't know what Ocas does to get these players geared up for the big games, but I suspect you'll see a better performance from Anorthosis at the weekend. I don't think they're going to beat Omonia. I think it'll be like a 1 or 2-0 win to Omonia, but we should see a much better performance than that one against Baffle.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. I've been very impressed with Buffer's resilience so far this season, especially in Europe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they've been creating a lot of chances in the league. I mean, not many teams go to Ajax and play them off the park the way that they did. Yes, you could argue it was Berg's first home game, and he's still getting used to the players. And Salamina played a high line for the first 20 minutes of the game. I don't know why, but you still need to put away your chances.
Yep.
And they're looking dangerous so far, anyway.
Yep. No, that's definitely the case. Now, I just want to mention one more thing about now Salamina. They're playing Antosh in goal. What's wrong with Melissas?
That I don't know.
Because that first goal they conceded as well. I don't know what look, I know your goalkeeper's union and everything, but I don't know what he was doing for that first goal.
Yeah, communication was rubbish there, to be honest, between the two.
Yeah, and the ball is going low, and for some reason he's waving his arms in the air or around shoulder height. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, he says he was injured. Pedro says that he was injured.
That's a big miss for Salamina, I think, as well. I think they need they need discount Eminem there. Yeah.
Michael says, honestly, I think Buffalo is just unbelievable up front, but defensively they look like an under-15 team at times. Well, I think that new central defender, the Dutch lad, is pretty decent, to be honest.
Yeah, look at him. Yeah. But yeah, you just need to score more than you concede in it. That's it.
For sure. Well, let's move on because there's more to come and there's loads to go through. To be honest, there's one story that's going to dominate. But let's move on. Let's move on. Anyway, so Salamina, they beat Ethnigo by 3-2. Very controversial because at 1-1, the lights went off and the Regan equalized for Akhna, and then boom, lights go off. That took 20 minutes to sort out. Yeah, bit of a random one there. Can't really explain it too tough, but these things happen, I guess. I don't know what else to say about that without sounding a little bit, iffy. But yeah, Ofori made it 2-1 before Velios equalized from the spot. But this Thasso, that wasn't given as a penalty, which I don't know. Anyway, Velios scored, and then Durmishai scored the winner at the end, and then proceeded to celebrate in a very, very strange way. And I'm hoping I've got the video clip here.
Hold on. Do you want to play it? We might get demonetized if you play it.
I don't think I have it.
Do you think it will get picked up by YouTube if we put it on? But anyway, Florian Durmishai decided to celebrate his goal by well, Pedro's just put there shaking the champagne. Yeah, there was definitely some very, very quick wrist action. Anyway,
yes,
around the midriff region.
Let me get it on there. Let me get it. I was going to say let me get it up, but
no, don't get it up.
Well, okay, so he's put the ball in the back of the net, and That's just okay. Okay. Okay.
I'll tell you what, Aristoteles is gonna have some things to say, I think, on
Yes.
Wednesday
Yes.
next week.
Well, before we talk about that, there's a comment here. Not a handball for me. Now, look, let's play this again because I cannot understand how this was not given. That he's punched the ball out the way, man. Like whether
Yeah, like so.
it's intentional or not. How
Yeah,
how?
see if if the ball had hit his hand after the header from the Aachener player, I think um, you'd you'd probably say, yeah, um, that's probably a reaction, but I don't know, man. I think it's not. He's headed the ball down and his arms have come up. It's not a natural movement of the hands, is it?
Well, I'll tell you what. In the interest of fairness, right? We should look at the next handball decisions that are given. So let's just say the next 3 handball decisions are given, and then we'll decide which one's more of a penalty.
Hmm.
I think we'll do that. I mean, Michael says here, under the new rules, if it comes from a part of your body, it's not a handball. But I get it. But when the ball comes, he's done this. He's volleyball, man.
Yeah.
But
See, if it was a natural hand movement, then again, yeah. Um, I mean, but with Pedro, he says that it's extremely close distance. I don't think that's extremely close either, is it?
nah,
He's moved his
nah.
hands closer to the ball and to his head on purpose to take advantage of that new rule.
Well, my
But if
question
you
is,
do
why
it,
are both of his hands like this?
yeah, like he's gone for it,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's not
I think that was. I
it's
think
not
that
a
was.
handball.
Well, I think it was accidentally on purpose, Michael.
Yeah,
I think it was
exactly,
accidentally on purpose.
exactly.
But yeah. Now, in terms of let's go back to the Dumisha celebration. Andy says, imagine getting a ban or fine for that celebration.
Well, he will.
Michael Johnny said it should be a ban, to be fair. Now, I don't even know why he did that. Like, no one's given me a reason as to why it was done.
Mm.
Apparently, he had an argument with Velios about the penalty, but I don't think he did that to Velios. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, listen, when people first told me what happened, I thought, because they were talking about his celebration, I was thinking like, oh, has he done something? Because I know there was at the Kosovo, at the Cyprus Kosovo game, somebody put a
Yeah.
banner up, and considering Florian Dormishai, his background is Albanian, I would have thought it did something to do with that, and that's what set
Hmm.
people off. And then when I look back at it, I was like, "What? What's he done that for? What's the? I mean, is he gonna argue like what Pedro put about it? He was actually shaking some champagne. It's got nothing to do uh, with with his business.
Betty Swallocks, maybe.
Mm. She gets
I,
around that Betty.
what I will say though is, if that happened in the Premier League, that would have been on Talksport for 3 days. They'd have been talking about that.
Yeah,
You'd have had all sorts of charities and, oh, they shouldn't be on television. There are children watching, and then he'd been made to give out a statement apologizing, and he has to
yeah.
do community service or whatever it is they call it. Going to doing all these charity stuff. Like, it's just bonkers, man. All right, he celebrates and he's whacking one off. All right, so what? Doesn't matter.
With um, and barely anybody spoke about it as well, right?
No,
What was
no.
it? Was it just Supersport that mentioned it? That was it.
If that, and it was after us, after we put out our post, it was like an hour later.
Because Gekira didn't write anything about it. Nobody had written anything about it, which was a weird one. But
Ah, well. Anyway, nothing's
yeah,
ever normal in Cyprus. It doesn't matter.
no,
It's all good. It's all
nothing.
good. All right, let's move it on. And Aris travelled to Anorthosis, didn't they?
Yep,
And
they did.
they beat Omonia Aradipur by 3-0. They did it with 10 men. And I'm not going to lie, Thasso, when Ari went down to 10 men, it reminded me of the Garmiodisa game where Ari were down to 10 men and they ended up losing because Omonia Aradipur had chances, mate,
They
but
did. They did.
they
Patrick
didn't make them
Valverde hit
count.
the post.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
on
They didn't make
the
them
spot.
count, but Kvilitaya made it 2-0 after a penalty. And Savo scored with 10 minutes to go to wrap it up. And yeah, good
Yeah.
win, I guess, for Aris,
Yeah.
but it was a sticky one. It was a sticky one.
It was. It was. It was a difficult game up to, I think, once that penalty got conceded, you saw the Omonia players kind of their heads drop. But like I said, like I keep saying, Omonia Aradipur, I think, are going to surprise some people this year. They're
In
not
what sense?
well. I don't know. I don't know. I think they've got there's poorer teams than Omonia Aradipur in the league this year,
Yeah, the other two that came up.
and Garmiodisa. But anyway,
No, 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 no. Nope.
no, you don't think? Okay.
No, no, no. Once the passion merchant goes, they'll do better.
Okay. All right. Sure.
He's the problem.
Sure. He's the one that's the problem in that
Oh
team.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yes, Omonia Aradipur. Yeah, they'll be fine. As well, the stadium. I don't know. Like you had the away end that had the Aris fans in. Obviously, you had the other end of the stadium where normally the Mahides sit in. That was completely empty, but the
Yep.
two sides were pretty full. So Omonia Aradipur have got some people
Yeah.
watching them.
Yeah, of course.
Which is quite impressive as well. But you know,
And don't forget,
Aradipur is a pretty big town, so
was
you
it?
know,
Hang about, was the game on the same time as the Anorthodoxy game? Was it different days? I can't remember.
I don't know. I'd have to check.
Because if there were different days, it wouldn't surprise me if it was like Anorthodoxy fans that just thought, well, might as well go see a game.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. But you know, it's money in Omonia Aradipur's pockets, isn't it? In the end, so
Yeah. Maybe then again, I think that the smell in Aradipur worsens in the evening, so maybe these guys just decide to leave the town to watch a game of football. And sorry,
yeah,
it's just
no,
you drive
I
past
know.
Aradipur, you know what I'm talking about, man. Come on.
I know very well. My Bapunyaya used to live in Aradipur, like right in the middle. So I know.
Mm.
Yeah.
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 Michael is on a roll tonight, man.
Yeah.
Impressed by Ari, even if 3-0 was not, he said always 3-0, but he corrected himself. 3-0 is not reflective of the game. Don't really think so. Carmelo and Baralimni look very bad. Omone Cosenya looked decent, and Omone Aradipur around that level. Okay. If Carmelo weren't this bad, I noticed he could have been in trouble. Fair.
Yeah.
Aradipur did have around 1,500 fans last season during the playoffs. Aradipur used to take around, was that 1,000
Yeah.
second division? Yeah, it's good.
So,
it's a good number.
So yeah.
Good number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good for him.
All right, on to the next. And Omonia beat Ajax by a 0-0. I said what I had to say on No Choftes Extra on Patreon. Evandro scored the winner. Lovely work from Semedo. Did the right back, who was absolutely dog shit. But we were lucky to get the victory, I think, mate. What do you reckon?
I agree. I like Evandro as well doing getting the Lua celebration out as well. But yeah, listen, Omonia are gonna have better days. They're gonna have worse days as well, hopefully, but they're gonna have better days. And it's about getting those results when you're not playing well. So, and it's one of the things that they didn't necessarily do last season, especially towards the beginning of the season. So it's an improvement for them. And yeah, so kind of winning these games 1-0 instead of drawing them or losing them is what wins your titles. So again, very nervy times for for an Apoel fan watching Omonia play the way they're doing and the results that they're getting.
That's what I will say is, yeah, a win is a win. You got to be happy with it. Derby game, we've always struggled. We've struggled for the past few years to beat AEK. Fair enough. But this is the third consecutive game where we've rolled our luck. And the pressing that AEK did for the majority of the game, it really unsettled us. Really unsettled us. And I think the coach made a very, very... It was a big gamble bringing on Gusolo at the time that he did to make him a holding midfielder because he looked off the pace the second week in a row. Now, this isn't to take anything away from our performance because we had to get the win. We got the win. That was the main thing. We had two clear-cut chances. We took one. But this AEK team under Berg were very, very aggressive. They were hunting us down in packs. Cabrera just showed what kind of a South American he is. That's his style, you can tell.
Yeah.
But what I will say that will let AEK down this season is their back line, because I just think that they've got so many mistakes in them. But strangely enough, they can't score goals either. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
They scored two, and that was against Apollon with 10 men. Didn't get anything against us, didn't get anything against Buffalo. All right, you could argue two difficult games, but if you can't find the back of the net, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, no, AEK are going to struggle this season. I already said it before, even with kind of the impetus of heading Berg and whatever he's going to do. In theory, he's supposed to be a bit more solidly defensive, solid in defense with Berg, but we've not seen that yet. But that's because you've got somebody like Miramon, for instance. He's 34, 35 years old.
Yeah.
You've got is it I always get his name wrong. Milicevic,
centre back, yeah.
Yeah. Again, he's 30. He's on the wrong side of 33, 34 as well.
Well, they had him and Roberge at centre back, who's 36.
Roberge, 36,
and
37.
Ekbola was at left back.
So it's I don't know, man. I don't know. Is that defense is really old, and Ekbolo's got mistakes in him. We saw that against Apollon. He was at fault for Apollon's goal. That kind of
you could say the second goal as well against Buffalo.
Yeah,
where that Anderson Silva bullied him.
And he had that at Apollon last season as well, which it surprised me that all these teams were after Ekbolo in the summer.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes. But yeah.
Anyway, right. There was one more game that didn't happen. We have a guest about to jump on, but I think you better do your little summary first.
Yeah, shall I do the right?
Yes. So
the Apollon versus AEL match on Sunday night did not even start thanks to violent interactions between the AEL fans and the police force. Prior to the game, the police had major concerns already regarding the security of the game, as the police force would be stretched due to a protest march in Limassol from the two Omonia to Furious fans. I'm not sure. I mean, you might know a bit more about what they were protesting, but I didn't even bother to
No. Let's not talk about that. Come on.
Anyway, the police had previously asked the Cyprus FA to either move the time or the day of the match, or play the match without away fans, or provide other accommodations to help reduce the chance of incidents. Now, even before the events happened, Marios Hartjodis, who's the current Minister of Justice and Public Order, had some things to say. He said, "Football is a healthy sport and we should not turn matches into a boxing ring. As I've been informed by the police leadership, they have organized their plans so that today both the protest match and the specific football match, which is of high risk for the police, will proceed smoothly without any issues whatsoever." Except there were issues. I mean, we're seeing a pretty major one kind of happen on screen at the moment.
Did anyone notice that guy that just took a selfie?
Yeah, exactly. So it's not. I'll get to my thoughts about this specific thing happening here once we get around to it. But yes, so it was an absolute shower of an example of what not to do in this situation by the police, the Cyprus FA, the stadium authority, the government, and the fans. Yeah, let's not να τους γρίσουμε όλους, because everybody's at fault. Yeah, we still don't know quite the full story. I mean, we know plenty of it, but we not quite the full story of it. And you presented a timeline of kind of the debacle, at least what happened within the stadium once the fans.
Well, that was according to
got in.
Supersport. So,
Yeah.
sorry, so 24 Sport, I was quoting them because I
Yeah.
obviously wasn't there. So I'm using what they did, and I've tagged them as well. So it's not
Yeah.
like, yes, this is our account of details. That's
Yeah.
what was put online. So, you know, that's information that we had.
So, 6:30, the police met with representatives of both clubs to discuss safety concerns. 6:35, the authorities decided to reduce security searches on the supporters within the stadium, especially the AEL fans. At 6:40, AEL press representative Nicolas Levendis told the press, "We don't have an update yet. There is tear gas being thrown. There are injured people. We are shocked. We are waiting for information from the police and we will act accordingly." At 18:45, the Apollon press officer came out and said, "We hope that this time the game will be played unlike last season's cup match. This isn't an Apollon issue." At 18:55, a tannoy message at the stadium requesting AEL fans leave the stand and re-enter after a security check. Some supporters entered without a ticket. So yes, basically some supporters had entered without a ticket after violence incidents took place outside the stadium. Now, a minute later, the police informed the AEL fans that they have 15 minutes to leave the stand. Failure to do so would lead to the match being postponed. At 7:10, so this is, that's your 15 minutes, 14 minutes. The police repeated the request for AEL fans to leave the stands and go through another security search. A lot of them refused to leave. At 19:19, several of the AEL fans left. At 19:25, the Cyprus FA asked both teams to appear for their warm-ups. So they went in. They took the players out on the pitch to warm up, even though the police had given several warnings about the fans not leaving the stadium. But anyway, the police issue a final warning at 19:32 to AEL supporters, saying they have 5 minutes to leave their seats and redo a security check. At 19:39, the AEL president goes into the away end and asks the supporters to do the security checks, otherwise the match will be cancelled. And then at 1 minute to 8 o'clock, an announcement is made over the tannoy that the match has been cancelled. Now, the reasoning behind the police asking AEL fans to leave the stadium for additional security checks were for two reasons. The checks that they did, even the minimal checks that they did, they found some Molotov cocktails and other incendiary objects. And two, which is the video that we showed at the beginning of this, a significant amount of people had bum rushed the police cordon, firing pepper spray at the police and injuring some of the officers, while others jumped over the turnstiles without tickets to make their way into the stand. While the armed police had lined up on the pitch, so this is the stuff that we had on, we were just showing there, with requests for the fans to leave the stadium for further checks, AEL fans threw smoke grenades at the police. We've got, so we've already mentioned the CCTV cameras showing fans breaking into the stadium by climbing over the turnstile gates. I think one of them as well, we also see a fan run across the screen as well with like a police riot shield. So managed to get hold of that of someone. There was also CCTV footage released from the away fan concourse area outside for entering the stadium, where there was like a big stampede going towards where the turnstile was. And you see there's only maybe like about 4 or 5 police officers and in riot gear, and that's where the injuries happen to the police officers. You see a couple of fans spray the officers with pepper spray as well. But yeah, the police, it turns out, had a few injuries to report, including broken kneecaps and respiratory issues. So the match was abandoned. However, so this is that
However,
that was the
yeah,
that I was going to mention that as
right.
soon as
Let's
the video
let's
came
let's
up.
not let's not sweep this one under the carpet,
Yes,
right?
it's
Because
definitely
I know a
something.
lot of Ajax fans have got stick online for this, but I haven't seen anyone apart from one news website mention this incident. That's all. Let's go.
Yes. So what the police failed to self-report on was a number of riot officers stepping out their big water cannon vehicle that cost €500,000, and rushed an AL fan who was in a wheelchair. So we've got the recordings here. You can see they knock him over. They don't stop to help or apologize. And in fact, some eyewitness reports as well said they actually further verbally abused the man while he was on the ground.
It actually even looks like the other two Isle fans that were there, they've been unscathed, but it's
Yeah,
just the guy in the wheelchair that they've attacked. I mean,
yeah,
you want to talk about, I'm sorry to say, it's fucking pussies, right? That's just the term to use. I mean, it's disgusting, and no one is saying anything about it. No one.
yeah,
Shambles.
yeah. They knocked him over. So the first I heard of this, right, was I think I read on the Cyprus FA had put like an Instagram post out saying about the cancellation of the match, and there was somebody that had actually, I think it was the guy's son, had posted some like a comment on Instagram on the post saying this and this happened.
Hmm.
Police, there'll be a video somewhere. Somebody must have recorded it, but they knocked my dad over in the wheelchair. They started screaming at him, and we don't know why. And he actually gave the location of it as well. It was near the high school,
Hmm.
so it's all corroborated.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Well, that's all. I'll tell you what, mate. Before we get our guest on, what I want to say on this is S- Cyprus football has a problem. It's clear to see,
yeah,
but accountability is non-existent, and that's a word that we've been using a lot. I think everyone is to blame, but there's one little factor here
mm,
that again we need to touch on, and it's the police. And I'll
yeah,
be honest, this is my opinion, right? I think they did the bare minimum, right?
yeah,
Because they knew that they could set this trap. They've been wanting to ban fans since the moment the CFA said they're back. They were like, no, 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 we don't want them. Water cannons, 500,000, 500,000, a million. They wanted this to happen because it's
yes,
more ammunition for their arsenal, for them to turn around and say, see, this is what happens, right?
yeah,
So they just took a step back, and it's absolutely disgusting, man. You could
it is,
blame the fans for taking advantage of it, but let's get it right. We saw it in the what's it called, the European Championship final at Wembley, right? So when you give fans the opportunity to sneak in or whatever, they're going to do it, especially
yeah,
when you've limited their tickets, and especially for a game like this. So you can blame the fans, right? You could blame the Ajax fans. You can also blame the Apollon fans for the way that they behaved
yep,
outside the pitch and for bringing in their pyro or whatever, right?
mm,
You could blame the CFA for not doing things properly. You could blame everyone, really. But the fact is, the police, who should have been doing their job, did the bare minimum. And for them to turn around and have the temerity to say, well, you know, we can't have 300 police officers every game. Excuse me, it's a high risk game.
yeah.
And
They
it's not
said
just
it
inside the
themselves.
stadium that problems happen, it's outside as well. You have people living there.
They said it themselves. They said it's a high risk game, right? So they should have the police force to deal with this kind of thing, right? And right, you've got 800 tickets for IL fans, right? You see the amount of people that are queuing up to get into the game, right?
Mm,
And there's more than 800 people there. Maybe instead of just have the five people in the riot gear there to stop, this big rush to the front, maybe you have a few more people kind of to maintain a cordon. Because I don't know if you saw the CCTV footage of outside, but they
yeah.
basically just had five people across a massive gap. So So even with that, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Now,
Well, look,
Fitz,
before you carry on, we've got a mate that went to the game,
yep,
and she was outside talking to the security, and the
yep,
security told her the police said the police said they want them to do the command today, so we're just following instructions,
mhm.
right? So even the security were being told to do the bare minimum. So it was a trap. It was a
Yep,
trap. Well,
it was
look,
a
can
trap.
I get our guest on? Because
Yes,
we've got a
yeah.
guest that's been waiting patiently. Anthos was at the game. I believe he was a steward. He can tell us his account of events. Anthos, welcome, bro.
Hi guys, welcome. How
Thanks
are
for
you?
being patient, man. Thanks for your patience. Appreciate it, man.
No, it's nice. It's like good to hear from you guys, and yeah, always
Likewise, my guy.
stuff. So yeah, I mean, where do you want to start from? It's
Wherever you
it's
want,
amazing.
bro. You've been waiting. It's your time. It's your time to say what you want.
So basically, yeah, I work as a steward anyway at different games. So in Cyprus, obviously, we all have a base. My base is Alpha Mega Stadium. All right, and on this day, obviously each team calls an amount of stewards for each game, but this game I was called from IL, so we had an additional 5-6 stewards who were responsible only for the IL fans, so basically to avoid what happened. Okay, um so I'll start from the bare minimum from the police. Okay, I mean about numbers. Okay, um we're talking about what's become one of the most dangerous games in Cyprus in terms of, in a bad way, it's the biggest hatred game in Cyprus. You can't have 220 police. It's a joke. I mean, take it back to Omonia, whatever they called, 31st of October. They had the march, and they had 130 police for 800 to 1,000 fans. So how can you have 130 for 800 to 1,000 and have 230 for 8,000 fans? I mean, let's start from there. Um, so obviously, as stewards, we got there at 5. Okay, so it was set up. I don't know if you've ever been to Alfamera, but the away fans. That's also the bad thing of the away fans. They're all on a downhill. Okay, so it's a downhill. So even if you're walking, you're gonna speed up. All right. So if you're alone, not with 800 people. So we'll begin from there. All my biggest problem. That's why I reached out to you. Is the fact that everything everyone said, from the police to the head of the police when he was on the pitch, it's been lies after lies after lies. And the people who were there, and IL fans, which we all have a specific team that some of them I know, everyone's fuming because we've been the IL fans have been portrayed as this hooligans. And I'm not gonna lie, they have an issue with this, and we've given IL fans have a name for it, and I do understand. But at the same time, like I said, it wasn't 800 people running down the concourse. By the way, whatever they're saying, we already put 200-300 people in already at the time when the whatever you want to call it, the episodia, the fighting happened. There was only 400-500 people there, so it wasn't 800 to 1,000 that they're saying. That's number one lie. Number two, when the let's say the ultras or Ranomeni came at that time, on the side of IL there was about 25 to 30 police. I mean, I don't know. I'm not in the police. I don't know. I don't know much about it, but I mean, do the math. 500, 800 to 25 police is not great. And the police came out and said 70% of them were Zogimi, which means they haven't even been trained yet for riots. So anyway, let's forget about that. When the IL fans got there, of course, we have to take into account this is Cyprus. Okay, it's not England or anywhere else where you shout at the police, and people have this thing with the police. When the kids got there, and we're talking about 18 to 25-year-olds, they want to show off. They want to be, macho. They get there, they start swearing at the police. What does the police do? Some policemen answer back. And I'm like, all right. So we all started from the top before even that. So there was a bit of tension there. A policeman replied to a kid and said about, we're not going to say it, but he replied to him. And I'm like, what are you doing? How can you, as a police force, you see a bunch of, you know how it is when people go to football, they become something, let's say, that they're
Lots of
not.
testosterone. Lots of testosterone.
Yes, let's
No.
call it that only. And Geo and Carlsberg and whatever else. You don't answer back to them. You just, I'm not saying it's right, but it's Cyprus, okay? If someone swears at the police, it's wrong, but just don't reply. Why would you reply? And it started from there. Some people went to go to the police. We pushed them back. And this is where I want to say the leaders of CFAL, there were 6, 7 of them who were always at the front line trying to push the fans away. It's not that, I heard this from different ones where it said the AL fans came to riot. No, they didn't. They didn't. This is the 3rd game of the season. AL started the season well. They definitely did not come to postpone the game.
No, so on my side, when I said it, it was because of the reports of things like Molotov cocktails,
of course,
and pepper spraying the police during the issues. I mean, we've seen the video of the police being sprayed. So there's definitely fault from the AL fans as well as the police. That's why I'm saying that there's no correct party here. Everybody did the wrong thing.
Everyone is. But at the same time, let's take into account that the AL fans did come to riot. Okay, let's say they did. That was their sole purpose. I'm imagining now. What the hell's their job? To stop it, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
If
the job is to stop that.
If someone goes to rob a bank, you're not just going to let them rob it and say, "Oh, he wanted to rob it." You're going to stop him. You're gonna arrest him. The same in football. And this is what we always say, is that they've been wanting to do it for a long time. They've been wanting to stop the fans. And unfortunately in Limassol, we're a little bit peculiar. We give into this stuff. We're different. We try to be different in Limassol. We're the port, we're the thing, and they fall into the trap, unfortunately. And that's why they pick the AEL Apollon game every year, because in Nicosia, Boelo, and Omonia, they don't fall into the traps because they have certain things in point. Anyway, so let's continue. So when they started, there started to be some commotion at the top of the hill. We start coming down the hill, and there was again some pushing and shoving. The AEL fans pushed on the floor the barriers. So basically, there was a line of barriers going down the hill. Again, you shouldn't be able to just push the barriers over, right? Anyway, that's another thing for another day. So they pushed the barriers. And at the end of the hill, the AEL, what do you call it? The leaders, they stopped them. Okay, so that's where you saw that photo with 5 policemen, I think. It was 6, 7, stopped 500 people. Just to note, there was police on the gate as well. But when the AEL fans started running down, they disappeared. They left. So there was around 10, 15 police, 10, let's say, at the door, who just left. They went inside. So we're talking about now, when we stopped, everything looked like it calmed down. The organizer said, look, guys, get your tickets ready, get your fan cards ready. We're going to do this calm. We're not going to give anyone the opportunity to do anything. All right? So as we're walking down, at this time when I'm walking down, and there's some Sidera on the right, not Sidera, there's like Cangela, let's say, where you can jump onto them. And, again, it's a derby. Some guys, they jumped up and they started swearing at the Apollon side, which, I mean, totally normal, right? Again, it's normal. They want to get it out of them. It's a derby, it happens in the best of countries. So they jumped on Cangela and they just were shouting at the away fan. and the police started running down to get these kids off the Gangela. And this is where, as a steward, I said to them, guys, calm down. We'll just go and get them down and just let them join the fan. And no, they ran. They pulled one of the guys on the floor. They threw him on the floor. And that's when some of the people reacted. All right. So as soon as they threw the guys on the floor, another guy went to kick the policeman. And then honest to God, I'm trying to still think. And it all just kicked off out of nothing. Honestly, I can't. I was thinking about it the whole day, the day it happened, the day after today. And honestly, I still don't know what went wrong in terms of how it just started. It kicked off. You know, they started grabbing people. They got a kid to arrest him, and then people were trying to save him. They started hitting people with the ropala. They just literally started hitting whoever they had in front of him. And at this point, us, the stewards, we were in front of the police. So it was the police, us, and the fans. All right. So this is only 4 or 5 stewards who are left. We were trying to push the IL fans back, but at that point, they couldn't see anything. I don't know if they just etholosan, as we say in Greek. They started hitting anyone, and this is where myself and another steward, we actually got spray painted. We actually got pepper sprayed in my face as I was opposite the cop. He pepper sprayed in my mouth and in my face, and the others, and to all the other fans. They started hitting people, and again, of course, certain fans wanted to get into the stadium for free. That's we're not gonna say that no.
Does that have something to do with the way that the tickets were allocated? Because as far as I understand, someone told me, not going to mention any names, that they told me that a lot of tickets were given to the younger generation, and the older generation who'd been going for a long time, they hadn't been given the tickets or given priority. Hence the reason why they showed up, and they thought, well, why should I miss out? Do you get what I'm saying? Is that factually correct?
I mean, that's inside of the sindesmo, you know, of the thing. And yeah, you know, at the same time, I don't want to say too much, so people come and find me and start asking questions. But
is it there or thereabouts? Is it there or thereabouts?
It is. There is some truth to it, and
some truth in it.
Look,
okay, some.
I'll be honest.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
I've done. I'll give an example. I did the Aboel last game of the season last year. All right. I'm not going to mention any names or get people into trouble, but I don't know how much the fans of the Ultras of Aboel fits. Maybe 4,500, 5,000, if I'm mistaken. We definitely put an extra 1,000 people in. It happens in Cyprus, by the way.
Yeah.
People. It again. We have to take into account this is Cyprus. You know,
and it was an important game as well. It was an important game.
There's an AEK Arena story that I've got about somebody opening an emergency exit door to let a few people in. So
yeah, but it's bad, but you have to take into account each place you're in, right? We can't just say, we can't compare Cyprus to, you know, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, how did the English do it? Malaga, it's England. You know, you can't compare England to Cyprus. That's it. So, yeah, and one of the policemen, before the Ultras arrived, a lot of people were getting there with double tickets, all right? Obviously, they photocopied them and tried to get in, and they weren't passing. One of the cops said, he turned to us and said, guys, he said to one of the fans, go to the back, and when the police leaves, then you can get in. The police said this to one of the fans, by the way. All right. So everyone knows people get in. So the people who jumped in with no tickets, you know, magically everyone appears in the stands. Okay. That's one thing. So when it all started kicking off, all stewards disappeared, because one of the things that we're told in steward lessons is you have to protect yourselves. Okay, so of course the stewards who are at the Isodo left, because they're not going to get stampered on or stepped on for 40 euros, right? No one. this is how they think. This is the mentality we have. And when you see all those fans running down, and they were running, and of course, again, I'm not defending anyone, but the people who jumped over, of course, it's something you shouldn't do. But people were running away to what's the word? Not survive, but you know what I mean, to get away from what was going on outside. All right, so the entrance, the leaders of the Sindesmo tried to get everyone in the stand so they don't get hit or tear gas from the police. This is what we got to, and they were just running in, and they were hitting anyone they could find, and there were kids in tears. There were kids pepper sprayed. You see the video where the cop pepper sprays and hits some other stewards as well in the face, and it was just mayhem. It was mayhem, and the only way it actually stopped was when everyone got in the stands, because the police didn't follow. So
yeah, I mean that video from outside is very telling, because you can see there's 5 riot police officers across that whole concourse, and I've been down there. I've been in the away end when Apoel played Apollon at the end of 2 seasons ago when Aris won the title.
league,
Yeah. So I was at that game, and so many people. Again, you were talking about like things like photocopying the tickets and things like that, and even Apollon, Apoel, right? And there was. I counted about 60 officers when we went in, and we went in before the Boria to make sure we weren't there when the Boria had come through. And there was just 60 officers just then, kind of just standing around on the Ganduni there, just like leaning on the right gear, just talking normally to people as they were going in. But yeah, as soon as the Boria shows up, it changes, the attitude changes completely.
Yeah.
And it's a big problem. And the fact that you can only see 5 people in a row trying to stop people from going through what is that, like 20 meters wide? 20 meters
probably
wide.
less. You mean before you get to the entrance of the stand? Yeah, probably 15.
No, so like you come down the ramp and then it opens up.
Yeah, it's probably 15, 20 meters. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you go into the actual into the actual stadium. Yeah. So there, if you've only got 5 people standing there with this bit of riot protection gear, which is only like 40, 50 centimeters wide at the most, they're protecting 2.5 meters. That's what's that? That's less than that's less than a quarter of it. So you're not doing anything. They might as well not have been there.
But exactly, this is where we're getting to, where what's the point of the police being there? We're getting to the point where the police turning up is just causing tension for no reason. And again, there was absolutely no reason for anything that happened the other day to happen. It's not like the cup game last year where it was on the back of a really bad season for both teams. It was a dire season for AEL. It was going bad and everyone was a little bit tense. Yesterday, people were really looking forward to that game, and there was no reason for AEL fans to, and I hear this all the time, they came for trouble. No, they didn't. They didn't. It's just they're in that mode when fans get provoked this much, it will just hit the fan. And that's the problem. That's the problem, where it's the police's responsibility not to provoke, right? It's their responsibility to protect the fans. My job as a steward is protect the fans, not to protect the police. and let's get to the other point. Everyone gets in, right, at about 6:20, 6:30, half an hour before kickoff. Nothing happens. Nothing happens for an hour. Apollon fans are just chanting. AEL fans are chanting. Nothing's been lit. There's no tensions between the fans. Nothing. Everyone was literally getting ready to watch the game.
Yeah.
And look, they said that the fans didn't get checked. I totally understand, but again, which they should be checked. But why was that a problem if nothing had happened, right? If something had happened, right? Let's say they lit 100 flares. Stop it there. Postpone it there. You know, it's Cyprus. You know, we're not logical sometimes, but at the same time, we managed to get all AEL fans out, which, to be honest, has never happened worldwide. I think not in a single place in the world have they told fans, "Excuse me, can you please go out, get checked, and come back in again?"
Anthor, have you seen the statement from the Sifi?
Yeah, of course, straight away.
Mate, I've seen it, and they have gone in. They've gone in. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's long, but they have really dug people out, and it's beautiful, to be honest. But
Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm going. I don't know when, but we're going to be summoned as well to go give a statement to the police because, look, it's a thing blaming the fans. Fans, you know, we're in a society. It's easy to say it's a society problem, and we all know Cyprus's problems. But you know, this feels different. It's the first time it feels different because it is different. It's no one's done anything. You know, they said about they found a bag of Molotov and pure crap. Where did they find the bag of Molotov? No one was carrying any bags. Who in the right mind? And if they had Molotov, why didn't they throw it outside when the riot started? So
some of the websites showed photographs of the residue or whatever it is outside the stadium. But again, were they recent photographs? Were they photographs of previous incidents? We don't know because we don't know what the narrative is and which side of the fence some news websites are on. You know, because we know how political it can be, right? So I'm not speculating anything, but I'm not using that. But when you see video evidence of a guy in a wheelchair getting hit by a police officer, we haven't even talked about that at great length. I mean, this is just absolutely disgusting.
And everyone's come out in the news. Harshodis, who no one even knows what he does. Loizidis, that guy from the police. They've all come out and said, and everyone said the news, our thoughts with the 3 policemen injured, yeah? One's a policewoman. Why has no one come out and said our thoughts are with the fans who got hit or are in the hospital? Did you hear anywhere someone say that there's fans in hospital?
No, not even the man in the wheelchair. The only one who said that the man in the wheelchair is going through some stuff again was that Instagram post that I found.
And he got in the news and actually spoke.
Yeah.
And my other question is, okay, why did they postpone the match from when? Why did they all go out? All the stewards were back in there. You see it from the photos, yeah? All the stewards, we were in front of the fans. There were stewards on the stands. You get everyone out. They say 20, 30 people didn't get up off the ground, off the get-gida. And we mentioned it. The president of AEL was there, and I said to him, why, if it's such a problem, these 20, 30 fans are on the stand, why doesn't someone just go and check them? Why doesn't the police come and check them while they're on the stand? Just go check them. So they were getting away with murder. They weren't doing things on purpose. What and something else, the police wasn't even there when all the fans went out. It was only stewards. There was no police. So who was going to do the check? If the police wanted everyone to go out, if it was their responsibility, why weren't they there to help the stewards check everyone again?
Because it was a trap.
Yeah, exactly. And then
that's my opinion.
When all the fans come back on, yeah, when they're all in the stand, there's a concourse. There's like on the corner, on the right corner, where you see the police coming on. There were 2 Dimiries. They wanted to walk in front of the AEL fans to get on the pitch. They literally wanted to go behind the goal and walk in front of the Sindesmo to go on the pitch. And we went to them like, are you nuts? Imagine what would happen if they walked in front of them. It's like they wanted more provocation. And that's when, they listened to us magically and they walked on the other side. You see them jumping over the barrier, right? Their initial idea was to go in front of the AEL fans. What on earth would have happened there?
Well, it reminded me what happened last season when they lined up right on the halfway line. There was a few AEL fans that came on the pitch, and one of them threw something into the stands and everything. It's just the whole thing was a shit show. The whole thing was a shit show. And the thing is, you can come up with all the ideas to prevent this from happening. You could play behind closed doors. You can even move the game earlier instead of it being in the evening. Have it at, say, midday. So at least if people are going to start drinking, they've got a short window to do it in. But again, it's like there's no thought process behind it. And this was going to be a good game as well because you've got two teams that are in form.
And it's a good opportunity for both teams to go for the top six. AEK is getting better now, and all the other teams are a bit lower, I think, in my opinion, than AEL and Apollon at the moment. And both teams are really the season. I know we didn't play, AEL didn't play good teams, all right, or Apollon, but 6 points are 6 points. Everyone was buzzing, and this is what I'm saying. When they come out and say they wanted to have riots, it's not possible. And a lot of things they said, again, where they said that fans pepper sprayed police and stewards. Where the hell did the fans find the pepper spray from? How? And you have a video where,
No, I was going to say that's what was reported on, and you see in the video. You see in the video that the police officer gets pepper sprayed. So they managed to. Somebody managed
it was the opposite. The video that they showed was the police pepper spraying the fans.
No. The video that I've seen is the police officer gets. So the police officer's facing away from the camera, and the smoke comes towards the camera from the pepper spray.
I didn't see that, but from what I was seeing, it was only two policemen. They were just pepper spraying everywhere.
Yeah, I think we're talking about two different videos. Yeah. The one that I saw, there's 5 of them, and one of them gets sprayed in the face by something.
I didn't see that, but knowing our police, they probably nicked it from the police, like they nicked. No, you're laughing.
Like the riot shield.
I could just imagine it.
In the security video. Yeah.
Well, how did they? What did they bring from their home? The riot shield and the hat as well.
No.
Why didn't they complain about that?
They had it from Carnival. I will tell you.
So, and then it doesn't stop there. It's like they come onto the pitch. They say the game's postponed. The tensions are high. Everyone's fuming, both sides.
And it spills out outside.
And it's the first time, kind of, both supporters were shouting the same chant against the police, by the way. No one mentioned that either. It's the first time I see unity in Limassol in about 25 years. But why? Let's say the fans are leaving, all right? So you up that bloody uphill again. They have to turn right to go up the uphill again, go to the roundabout. Then you have to walk down to the other roundabout and so on. Why are you following them? Leave them go. Why is the police following the fans to their cars? That's another question that no one knows the answer to. Why, even after the game finished, why they provoke? And of course, these guys, they had stuff in their cars. I'm not agreeing with throwing Molotov, and we do feel sorry for the girl cop who's just 22 years old who got burnt from the Molotov. It's not correct, but why are you provoking again? Just leave them go home. Leave them go home. Why do you have to follow them with the bloody eanda? What, just to say, look, we brought it to Limassol, we used it.
They paid €500,000 for that thing, so so they got to use it.
So, as Ael's statement said, there's a lot of things which are dark. There's a lot of things that stink, and they're not saying anything yet. They're just collecting data because it's different this time. It's different. It's not like last year's Cup or 2 years ago, the game with Apollon in Syria, which got postponed because Zael fans were throwing stones. That's clear cut. Okay, it's hooliganism. It's done. Sunday was, and again, if you saw all the fans and the stewards and people who really love football and really love their teams, it was disappointing. It was so sad to see what happened. And again, I'm still trying to think how it got to that point, because it all happened so quick. It all just went off. I told you, they started hitting people, or trying to arrest people, trying to run away. People started running. It all just happened so fast. And look, everyone's to blame. Everyone. But at the end of the day, for something to work, there has to be someone in charge, right? And that someone in charge, we all know who it is. And they need to stop coming out in the news and lying to people. And one last thing that I forgot to mention. They arrested 4 people, right? They arrested 4 people the night.
Five.
No, the night it happened.
Oh, yeah.
Now they've arrested more. But again, I can tell you a lot of things that I might know, but let's just stay there about who they're trying to arrest, why they're trying to arrest them. Some of the photos of the people they put up had the ticket. They had the ticket. They scanned their ticket and they put their photo up. Another, let's leave it for another day. The 4 kids who got arrested outside the fan club of Ael, all right? In the news, they said he was 17, 18, and 21. They got arrested because they were wearing yellow, all right? The police that night, because I drove down that road because, I love to see what's going on. And I drove down. There was 5 police cars on the left. And as you drive into the fan club of Ael, the police shut the road. They shut the road. They didn't allow anyone to go in because they wanted to catch people who were going to the fan club. Even if someone drove there with a yellow T-shirt and they entered the fan club, how on earth did they know that they did something?
Yeah, exactly, Stel. You're on mute.
Well, this is it. Well, because they don't. It's just assumptions again.
No,
They arrested these 4 kids on 8 charges that they have no idea that they've even done. And something they forgot to mention is they beat the crap out of one fan. The 17-year-old, I don't know if you saw it. I knew this beforehand. We found out that night, but his dad came out in the news 2 days ago, yesterday, and he went to on Fileleftheros, and he's complaining about police brutality because they beat the crap out of his kid and they sent him to the hospital. And the police is saying, "Oh, we took him to the hospital because he got injured at the game." No, he didn't. They literally beat the crap out of him. They took him to the hospital and they arrested him for 7 days. I don't know. I don't know how much they're going to try and get things out of these guys. I don't know. Maybe they're just catching people, as we say in Cypriot,
yeah.
I don't know, but it's a shit show. It's a shit show.
It really is.
And, the fan club of Ael just announced that they said all those things that you said, Stel. And at the end, they said, "Look, guys, do not fall into their traps. Do not fall into their traps." But at the end of the day, you can't control everyone. You can't control a 16, a 17, a 18, a 19-year-old whose friend just got beaten up. What are you going to say to that guy when he comes across a policeman again? It's in a difficult situation right now. And if you drive around Limassol, there's banners everywhere which says against the police, and there was one amazing banner which said yesterday, "We pay you for you to beat us up." What a mentality! You know, what a way to walk around Cyprus thinking, right? And they don't understand. They think that you have to fear the police for them to do their job. No, you have to respect them. It's not with fear, right? It's not the and you know, this big problem that they're saying now with the pyro shows. Even the best of countries have pyro shows. Even the best. Why has it become such a big problem in Cyprus? You see the most. You know, I've traveled the whole of Europe watching football. I've been to the biggest derbies in Europe, and I've never seen such a shit show. And
No.
there's pyros everywhere. There's Sacres. I went to Lazio Roma, and you walk through a forest, and all you hear, it's night. All you hear is boom, boom, and you're like, where the hell am I? And you walk in, everything's okay, but you go back, you eat a pizza, just like nothing happened. And why in Cyprus do we have to make such a big thing out of everything? And it's what we said, it's politics. It's pure politics.
Yeah, it's
all a game. It's all a game, and that's the problem. It doesn't. It stops being a game when people get hurt, and this is where we're at right now. When innocent people are getting hurt, and the way I see it is, it's the whole thing has been run like a fucking circus, and the people that are responsible for it are not holding themselves accountable for it. And look, I think everyone has their fair share of blame.
Yeah.
But the fact is, going back to what I said before, the police knew this was going to happen, but I don't think they realized how out of control it was going to get.
Yeah, I mean,
or how much they were going to let it get out of control.
Yeah. So one thing, the one statement that had a positive in was the Cyprus FA, where in their announcement straight from it, they said this was not an away fan issue, because it wasn't violence between sets of fans, but a battle between one club's fans and the police. So it shouldn't be reflected across the league. So we see the stance there from the Cyprus FA already is for away fans to not be banned based off of this, because it wasn't between fans, it was police and IL fans.
But it's not banning away fans is not a solution. It was never
it's not going to fix it, because know I'll have got home games.
Yeah.
So it's not a solution to the problem that they're making.
It's not that. As IL has home games, IL is massive on basketball, futsal, women's volleyball, women's basketball. Where does this stop? Where does this stop if they can't control anything?
Well, I think there's a wider problem as well, because first of all, we've got the issue with the youngsters going into the army and they're not allowed to train for 14 months. So that's that part of Cypriot football being killed. We had the pandemic where no fans were allowed in the stadium, so that hit clubs financially. Last season, I'm pretty certain a lot of clubs lost a lot of money, especially the smaller clubs, without the away fans in the stadiums. And now what they're doing, they're just trying to sanitize everything completely. This is what they're trying to do, and it doesn't make any sense, because it reminds you of Thatcher's Conservatives, where she hated football in general, and every football fan was a hooligan, even if they were just going to the game with their kid. And this is how Cyprus is becoming, and it's shameful. They've got no fucking clue what they're doing, the people at the top. I'm sorry, it's just how it is.
But do they? It's what I'm saying. They do. I think they know how to, because when they want to not, if they want things not to happen, they can stop it. How? Why is it all perfect? I mean, we'll see now when Omonia 29th of May play Aboel. But look, why is it only Apollonael the problem?
I don't know. What I wanted to bring up, though, was the players' union solution, which is actually part of the law in Cyprus, and nobody is paying for these things. Which,
surprise, surprise,
which are
passed by the voice
law.
of reason. Passed by the voice of reason. Surprise, surprise. They're the only ones with fucking common sense.
But by law, they need to have more CCTV. They need to have better concourse arrangements for the checking of the tickets and things like that. And again, the airport type scanners. That's how you're going to catch the stuff. And as soon as it's going to take longer for the checks to go ahead, but that's how. If you want to get absolutely everything and be sure that and rip all that stuff off people, that's what you got to do.
One thing about the cameras, I'm listening. I'm saying they're saying that they're not up to. They're not the latest technology, but there's 125 cameras in Alfamera.
Yeah,
it's a load of. I don't believe that the cameras can't catch people. It's a load of crap.
I don't think it's specifically for Alfamera, but more for the older stadiums.
Yeah.
The older stadiums need upgrades to their security.
The thing is, right, I'll be honest with you, about 3-4 weeks ago, I was talking to a former Brazilian player. He played in the France 98, and he alongside this company, they've developed this facial biometric turnstile system, and it's being used in Brazilian stadiums, right, even the older stadiums. And it's just like you said, Thasso, at the airports where, it scans your face and you're in, right? Obviously, that could be like the first phase of entry, but I don't see why they don't invest in something like this, because it kind of eliminates the fan card as well, because you won't need it really unless they register and then they got it on a database. So there should be certain ways to enter a stadium. So you've got the fan card outside, for example. You do your checks with the stewards, and then you do the facial thing recognition, and then you go through the turnstile itself. So you could do it, you could phase it in, you could do a step-by-step process. But I've been to a few games in Cyprus since the fan card has come in, and I keep saying this, there's a poor old lady stood there, 55, 60 years old, and you've got 500 people there trying to get in, and she's just looking at it. What's she going to do with people's balaclavas? And it don't make no sense. So the stadiums and the clubs are to blame as well, but at the same time, you need the police there to police it. That's their job, security. Am I dumb?
But the other thing about the flares and everything, and I'll be totally honest with you, I've been working as a steward now for nearly a year. None of the stuff comes through the fans, by the way. Nothing comes. A lot of people come out and say, oh, they don't check. That's total crap. The amount of checks we do, I mean, up until a point, they can't. The things they light are like this big. Where the hell do they shove them? And we're not talking about one or two. If there was, let's say the other day, the Apollon game, those was like 50 flares, right? If 50 flares came through the door, that means they must have brought at least 5 or 6 would have been caught, right? It's statistics. But after a lot of check, no one was caught, which means they came through somewhere else. It's if you talk to people around Cyprus, everyone's going to tell you the same thing. They don't come through the turnstiles. And here is where the police said, what are we going to do? What do you mean, what are you going to do? Go there every morning, or there's cameras. Check the cameras 24 hours before and see who brought a bag in. Like you said, Stel, maybe we're stupid. Maybe we live in a different world. But at the end of the day, you know what? I don't think, being an old romantic, I don't think flares are a problem. Look, they're a problem being thrown on the pitch and to other people. Let me get that straight. I don't agree with that, but a flare being lit up and being thrown in a proper place in a protected environment, it's beautiful. It's something different, and if other countries can get it right, we can as well. If someone lights a flare and throws it to someone, show your balls and go arrest him. It's stupid.
Of course.
We have shootings in Cyprus, but everyone has a shotgun at home. Why isn't everyone banned?
Well, this is it. It's the person behind it.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Football's always
Yeah.
an scapegoat, right? Always
Of course.
gets attacked for easily. It's easy to blame them, right? They're hooligans. They have no life. They're nobodies. They're drug addicts. They're getting load of crap. If you've met any of them, I'm not saying they're all angels, but some of them are proper. They have proper jobs. They wake up at 8 every morning. They have families. They have kids. They're not just anyone. They're not rejects of the world. That's what they make out. That's what they want the story to be, that they're just rejects and they want to fight. Look, that's like 10, 20
created,
people.
so.
It's 10, 20 people. It's not 1,000.
There you go.
Anyway.
Well, bro, look, thanks for jumping on with us. Really appreciate it, man. And sorry for making you wait that long. But it's great talking to you.
Look, we all love Cypriot football. We all want to make it better. And, we're unique in Cyprus and we have to keep that. I mean, not the politics. I mean, everything else. The atmospheres and everything. We need to keep it because it's what makes Cyprus special,
Of course. And it's conversations like this that keep it healthy, because you need to have these conversations with fans, not just politicians and people going in front of the camera, that, people that are there, that are on the ground, that see these things.
And they need to stop lying. That's it. And they're never going to stop lying. They're never. But the fact that they said 800 hooligans came, 800 hooligans. There were 200 kids there and 100 women and people in wheelchairs. How are they all hooligans?
Yeah,
but
of course.
Like you said, it fits good on narratives, and it's good to go on TV at 7 a.m. and just told a lot of crap that no one's watching, right?
Click, 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 click.
Yeah, no one's watching it at 7 a.m. Who the hell's watching morning news?
Well, bro, you got a couple fans here, man. So thank you for joining us, man. Really appreciate it, Jay. Next time, you're more than welcome to come on, man. Anytime you want.
With some good news. With some good news. Something good to talk about.
We'll have to wait for that.
Well, we got some good news coming up on this show. Don't worry about it.
Guys, take care.
Cheers, bro. Have a good night. Thank you, man. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. I mean, there's loads of comments, man. Loads and loads and loads of comments. So many that for us to go through. We've done an hour and a half, and I think we can go on for more and more time. It's a sticky one, but thanks, Antha, for joining us, and it's great to hear someone that was there and their account of things, and I hope we've cleared a few things up for people. So, Thasso, let's go through the league table, my friend. Yep. All yours. Take it away.
So, look at that one. Bafos on top, 9 points from 3 games. Same for Aris and Omonia. And then we've got Aboel in 4th on 6 points, and AL in 5th on 6 points. And then we've got Nea Salamina, AEK, Garmiodissa, Ethnikos, Apollon, and Paralimni on 3 points. And then in 12th, we've got Anorthosi with 1 point, Omonia Radipo with 1 point, and 2 Omonia, 2 Furious right at the bottom there with 0 points.
Nada.
Yep.
Lovely. Well, look, before we move on to our next story, just to say, guys, for those who don't know, we're continuing our collaboration with Charity Idols and PASP. And if you guys remember the Charity Marathon podcast we did in March, where we had numerous shirts donated, one being the Scotland shirt, which also went on auction. We also have a signed Bayer Leverkusen shirt, René Adler, limited edition. He was a goalkeeper, but they gave him this shirt. Right, and it's been signed by the whole 2008 and 2009 season squad, which includes Tony Kroos. There you go, Tony Kroos. And if you want another shirt, another German shirt, if you're into Bundesliga, Wolfgang Rolf, good friend of mine, he's donated this shirt as well. This was a special Werder Bremen shirt. He was assistant coach at the time for season 2011-2012. So go on the Charity Idols website. The link is in the description. Thassa. Shall we go to the great story? The good news.
Good news. Let's go to the good news. Do you want me?
Please, I'll let you do this. I've got a surprise for you. I've got a surprise for you, and you tell me when you're ready for your surprise, and I'll show you your surprise.
All right, I'll start. Get to the end of the quote, and then we'll and then you can do the surprise. So, the day after our pod last week, when we were talking about him fucking off, the big news came out, sweeping in on the wind. whispering sweet nothings into our ear. The ballless man is gone. No longer will there be a ballless man in charge. So we got a statement from old Turtlehead himself at the Cyprus FA. During a conversation I had with the coach of the men's national team, Mr. Timur Gitsbaya, we exchanged views on the image presented by our representative group in the last 2 matches and earlier. Mr. Gitsbaya put himself at the disposal of the federation in order to make the necessary decisions to improve the competitive performance and the climate in our national team. He suggested that perhaps what the team needs is a drastic change. We had no doubt that at this difficult time for our national team, Mr. Timur Gitsbaya would demonstrate professionalism, seriousness, and his proven love for the national team and football in general. His attitude honors him, but to those who know him, it comes as no surprise. Unfortunately, neither Mr. Gitsbaya nor the Federation managed to achieve their desired results through this cooperation. We sincerely thank Mr. Timur Gitsbaya and wish him every success, both on a personal and a professional level. Exo! So, for me, he could go take a long walk off a short pier. No longer will the national team have a ballless coach. Surely.
Inshallah.
Exo!
Well, listen, it was a great day. We did the pod on the Thursday.
Yeah.
And on the Friday, it was announced. So our pod was out of date. But listen, I don't care.
Yeah.
It was a great day. It was a great day. And listen, it's never nice to hear about someone losing their job. But him, it was delicious. Absolutely delicious. Yeah. Unfortunately, the number one candidate is another guy who I don't like. But could it be worse than what we had before?
Well, so you mentioned that Sofroni seems to get good results from the team at the beginning and then it dips. Now, is that matches or duration, like days wise? Because if the team plays well for 10 or 15 games, that's 2.5 seasons worth of national team games, right?
Right.
So if he gets the team playing good for 2.5 seasons, then you can exo him and bring somebody else in.
Yeah, I guess. Well, let's see. I mean, it's not even been announced yet, but I think it's done. I think it's done. I've been told that it's been done. It's done, shall I say? So here you go, Tasso. Tasso, tell us how you really feel about Timmy being sacked.
I'll tell you how I feel about Timmy being sacked. I sent you a WhatsApp message, and all I did was have like 3 party emojis, and you hadn't seen it yet. You hadn't seen the news come out.
No,
And
I didn't know.
Yeah. They was like, what? And I, go check the news and come back. And there was like, the oh happy days.
Oh, happy day, yeah.
Oh yeah, I did. Get me that gospel choir.
Yeah.
Get me that. Gitsbaya's gone.
This is what I keep telling people: when you walk with God, good things happen to you, man. That's what I have to say. Have faith. Have faith.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yep.
Well, Tasso, I have a surprise for you. Are you interested in your surprise?
I really want to see my surprise.
It's only 1 minute and 40 seconds of your time. So boys and girls, those who are watching, feast your eyes on this.
We knew terrorist Tim was always bound to fail. A 5-for-1 playing it safe, no courage to unveil. Midfielders lost in defense, out of place. while Tim hides from the fight, avoiding every chase. And it became so clear, day after day, he chose his favorites as the team slipped away. But Tim always has excuses, spinning stories, shifting blames, never gets his facts right, his lies ignite the flames. Tim, you're a coward, hiding behind your walls, but everyone can see it now, Tim has no balls. Terrorist Tim, you never liked to take a chance, kept your team from soaring, never let them dance. Your stubborn tactics, they led you astray. Now there's no redemption, you've lost your way. And it became so clear, as the truth shone through, we're done believing in someone like you. But Tim always has excuses, spinning stories, shifting blames, never gets his facts right, his lies ignite the flames. Tim, you're a coward, hiding behind your walls, but everyone can see it now.
He's got no balls.
Alhamdulillah. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. This is Mappa, the album, coming soon.
Oh man, it's as soon as I saw the word walls come up, I was like, no way. No. That is fantastic. That has exceeded all expectations. It's like my birthday and Christmas and Majorti at the same time, man. Beautiful.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And we have fans and fans and fans and fans playing on his Sonos. Genius, Oscar material, Grammy, Mercury Music Award, come #1 for Christmas. Come on.
Oh my god.
Come on.
That
It had a bit of a Christmas feel to it though, didn't it? Like the jazz.
It did. Yeah, the smooth jazz coming through.
Kind of what you expect at a really posh restaurant, you know, you're sitting there and there's a guy with, you know, piano, microphone, like in Die Hard, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Except, you know, the bold prick in this case is the bad guy.
Oof. Oof. Well, listen, maybe I can get Bruce Willis to sing. Yeah, I'll get Bruce Willis to sing. How about that?
He has jazz albums. You do know that, right?
Really?
Yeah, Bruce Willis has jazz albums.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
2.
Okay. Well, listen, I'll take your word for it. So it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
There you
But
go.
yeah, so there we go. That was I want that. Send it to me. I want that on my phone. It's it's amazing.
Your wish is my command.
Beautiful. Wow. Anyway, yes. So good news. Good news to kind of it's like the citron lemon sorbet at the end of a meal. That one, just a palate cleanser, nice and fresh.
Absolutely. Right. Is there any more news? Because we've done an hour and 38.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some transfer news, but it's
Transfers?
there's still transfers. There's been loans. So Aris Milan Kovacev has gone to FC Krasava.
Okay.
Omonia Radipo sent a goalkeeper Lucas Sakas to Doxa. So for you specifically, Stel, is the goalkeeper that got injured for Omonia Radipo or pretended to get injured at the end of the game versus Olympiacos last season.
Right. Yeah.
And then the goal went in, and then all of a sudden he got up and sprinted all the way.
Yeah.
To
Okay.
him.
Okay.
There's been a couple of other players as well that have gone out on loan. Fasudodis has gone from Aachen to Bike, so they've got another flying wing for them. The woke nonsense. Anyway, that's about it. There's a couple that haven't been announced yet. So there's Ayala maybe bringing in a goalkeeper, Joachim Dumba from Ajax, maybe, and whatever Morgan Brown decides to do with his season.
Well, apparently Adi have said that he's staying now, so
He is
I
staying.
don't know.
Okay, good,
I don't know.
good.
I don't know. I don't know.
I want to see. I want
So-
to see more bangers from him, please. Thank you.
So hang about no fines, no nothing.
No, because remember it was internationals last week. Big
Yes.
big stuff from Vrionidis is going to happen next Wednesday. So that's going to be a
shame.
very busy afternoon for me.
Oh God.
Yeah. So we won't be spinning the wheel.
No, we won't. We won't. Before we wrap it up, so I completely forgot to do this. But as people on X are aware, we've been doing our Bellara bets, right? And I started this season with just £1, right? And since the start of the season, every game correct. We're 100%. So this weekend was Buffer, Ari, and Omonia. And this coming weekend, let me just bring it up for anyone that is interested. The 3 matches that I've selected anyway, I'm sure Fassel would agree with me. Buffer to beat Ael, sorry, Ael fans. Abor to beat Nea Salamina, and Paralimni to beat Omonia Aradip. Why did I put that one? Oh shit. Oops. Oh well. I don't know why I put that one.
I was wondering why you put that one. If anything, I would have put that the other way around.
Yeah. It's all right. It's okay. It's called a
Yeah.
gamble. I just realised now that I put Paralimni down. Oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. Got to have faith in that. The goalkeeper's good.
I mean, yeah, you got to. He let in 4 goals tonight, but yeah,
You should have seen him against Omonia Gossiania.
no, he was an absolute beast against Omonia Gossiania.
Shit, did we even show the highlights of that one?
I don't think we did.
Oh, well, they beat them 1-0. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Paralimni won 1-0.
Oops.
Eli Sam scored.
But
yeah.
I didn't put it. Oh man, I feel bad.
Not.
Not.
The 3 Paralimni fans will be very disappointed.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Anyway, Faso, thank you for your time. Thank you to our friend Antho for joining us. That was very insightful. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and X at This Is Mappa. Faso is at Flares Gafes. We are on www.nc-network.com. Feel free to visit our site. We need to update it very soon. Anything else, Faso?
I just want to add one more thing. We're talking about flares. My tag is Flares Gafes, yeah? So I'm just going to say I'm all for flares.
And coffee.
Put that, and coffee. Flares and a frappe together. Not together, because that's a weird mix, but that's 2 quintessentially Cypriot things to see at a football match. Just that's gyro.
Absolutely. There you go. So until next time, guys, good.